My friends and relations, hello. Last week's video on contemplative prayer was fantastic. I really am proud of the video that I put together, and I got nothing but good feedback on the visual approach. But as far as the message, I got two category of response. One is it was fantastic. People appreciated what I had to say about contemplative prayer and could see the applicability of it in their own lives. The other category, the other response, meh. They could not see the applicability. They could not see the usefulness. So tonight I wish to address this. I'm going to talk about two things. One is why it is useful, and two is how to apply it in your own lives. And I'm going to actually do two videos. I'm going to cut the presentation here in half, two videos, one following upon the other. And so right now I'm going to get into why it's important. And I will approach this by talking about the self-help industry. And that's my problem, right there. It shouldn't be an industry. We shouldn't have to go to a bookstore or go to an online retailer and choose among hundreds of different approaches of how to achieve sound health of mind and spirit. When we look for a medical doctor, if we have a foot problem, we go to see a podiatrist. If we have a heart problem, we go to see a cardiologist. There's not much variety in the doctors, as far as their approach is concerned. We don't ask them, well, how do you go about fixing my heart? We look for reviews, we look for word of mouth, we listen for word of mouth to see if the doctor has good bedside manner and actually knows what he or she is talking about, but really there's not that much variety involved. If we have a heart problem, we just look for a cardiologist, period. There are some doctors and some medical groups who are on the cutting edge of research, applied research, technology, but they are far and few between. But when it comes to mental and emotional and spiritual health, oh my gosh, there are so many different approaches. And there doesn't have to be. Now, I don't believe that all of us in this field are actively competing with each other, but I think it's an unconscious competition because we're well aware that this one approach, whatever the approach may be, isn't working for some people, so why don't we come up with our own approach and maybe we'll get those people to listen to us and boost the sales of our books and so on and so on. And if you're one of those folks who write those books or gets on that lecture circuit, posts those videos, God bless you. You're helping people to achieve soundness. And if you're one of those people that follow the folks who write the books and post the videos and get on the lecture circuit, God bless you, because you realize what's important in your life. My concern is that you try one approach and it works and you're gangbusters about it for days or weeks or months or a year, and then you decide to go to someplace else. And and the people that are writing those books know that you're out there and that you may very well plunk down some money to hear a seminar, buy one of the books. Self-help is not rocket science. It all comes down to, well, first of all, breathing. You can't have therapy without breathing consciously, calmly, rhythmically, purposefully. Breathing, awareness, self-awareness, awareness of the world around you, awareness of the people around you, a dedication to building yourself, a dedication to bettering yourself, a dedication to connection. It's really that simple. Now, the quote recipe is simple, But the work is difficult, especially when we have spent so many years letting ourselves be overwhelmed by the static and by all the pain that's in the world, by all the pain that may have been directly visited upon us, thrown at us. We build up these layers of metaphorical fat where the light doesn't get through, except in little points, little areas, little windows of opportunity. I tell all my clients that they will invariably have a setback or 1,000. And when that happens, then they need to ask themselves if they can dedicate themselves to the course of action of improving their outlook on life, improving their outlook on life, improving their sense of their own strength, of their spiritual and emotional and mental strength, and the potentiality of what they can achieve. I have seen and heard so many different approaches, and they're often called rules, and they're often called strategies and regiments. I've seen people talk about the same mantras that I use, and they say that, well, you have to repeat this mantra 53 times a day. Some people, like Deepak Chopra, and man is a dynamo. He has helped so many. But let me just tell you the criticism I have. He speaks of saying these mantras, but he has these mantras in his native language, and he doesn't translate the mantras. So if you believe that saying those mantras is going to bring you health, then it will, if you truly believe that. But at some point, I think you're going to wonder what it is you're saying. At some point, you're going to really just want to get down to the meat and bones of the whole approach. And the approach, like I said, be aware, breathe, love, allow yourself to listen. A friend of mine commented on the video last week, and she said, really, it all comes down to being real. Well, contemplative prayer can help you to be real. All of my colleagues, all of the therapists that I personally know, we all have some significant problems. I've told you about my struggles with depression and anxiety. They're not going to go away. I just have to deal with them, and I've learned how to deal with them. And the therapists who have these problems and meet them head on and accept them and embrace them and absorb them and deal with them, man, they are fantastic therapists. And then there are other therapists out there and counselors and life coaches who really shouldn't be in the field at all because they have not dealt with their problems. And a lot of people, when they are on the lecture circuit or writing the books or doing the videos, they're just filled with energy, and they want you to understand the positivity of living a positive life, and that if you do this, then your life will be all peaches and cream. But that's not true. When the camera is off, they still have to deal with their problems. Now, again, everybody who's doing this, everybody who's taking this approach, and this includes me right now, God bless you. But it really comes down to very simple rules, strategies, recipe. It comes down to just knowing yourself and being dedicated to bringing your light to the world. And you must be aware that you have this light. This awareness of the innate good in you, the innate decency in you, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you've been taught, no matter what sort of grievances or sins you may have committed, and you may be aware of those sins. Despite all of this, there is an innate humanity in you. And that is the beginning of contemplative prayer. This knowledge. And once you have that knowledge, what you need to do is pursue it with every iota, every moment that makes itself available to you. So I'm at 10 minutes. I am going to now go on to the second part of the video. Peace. 4 fingers.